Hi, I'm Bradley Cooper and I'm from War and Peace Displays. I'm the educator here on display with the aircraft from the Battle of Britain experience.
Tell us a little bit about the work you do, how far you travel and where you've been.
We travel all over the country, possibly even across Europe as well sometimes, and our main aim is to keep history alive. Obviously the war some years ago now, but our main aim is for those younger generations to be educated as those older generations sadly pass away, to keep those memories, those stories alive, and their heroism keep on going, so their story can be told.
Now the stars of your show, if you like, or the two aircraft that we see here, can you tell us a little about them?
Yeah, we've got two aircraft on display for this weekend. We've got a couple of others that are dotted over the country at the moment, but we've got the Spitfire and the Hurricane situated just behind me there, and they're both early war, so Battle of Britain period aircraft, full replicas, full-size replicas that is. So tomorrow we'll be in uniform with the equipment, memorabilia, being able to talk about them, how they worked, what happened from the ground crew to the pilots, explaining the kind of work they did and the effort they put in.
Now when you say they're replicas, can you tell us exactly what that means?
So these are full-scale copies. They do have the original wheels on from a Spitfire and a Hurricane, so they were cast from original aircraft, so everything's in the right place and the right size, but these particular ones we're just able to take them apart and transport them wherever they need to be, whether it's in a barn or possibly in the NEC in Birmingham or something. It makes it a lot easier for us to use these static ones rather than having to take apart actual real live aircraft.
Now probably everybody's favourite is the Spitfire, but from a flyer's point of view that some people might think otherwise.
Yeah, the Spitfire was the glory girl really. She was the one that was spoken about, all the publicity all went on the Spitfire, but in fact those early days, especially during the Battle of Britain, there were more Hurricanes, and the Hurricane really was the workhorse of that period in time. Potentially less likely to be have more damage, the Hurricane, because obviously she is a canvas-backed aircraft. So basically from the rear of the aircraft, if you're looking from that position, it's all mainly canvas covered. So obviously if a bullet was to hit it, it'd go straight in one side and straight out the other. And as long as it doesn't hit anything vital, then obviously the aircraft will be able to continue its work. Whereas the Spitfire is a fully metal aircraft, and obviously if a round does hit one side of the aircraft, it will flat nose, and as it goes to the other side of the aircraft, it will create a great big hole potentially on the other side of the aircraft, doing a huge amount of damage, and obviously having to replace that whole panel rather than just a small hole of where the bullet has passed straight through. The Hurricane's also got a slightly wider undercarriage as well, meaning it is easier to land on grass airfields, especially during the Battle of France and things like that. She was particularly a little bit easier, but as you can see, the Hurricane's a little bit bigger than the Spitfire. Most people often say, oh, they seem quite big, or sometimes they seem quite small, but actually when you look at them in the cockpit size, it's fairly small, it's cramped, so if you've got claustrophobia, these aircraft aren't particularly for you. But obviously those guys brave being able to go up in these aircraft with minimal training really, taking to the skies, and to navigate where they're going, fly the aircraft, try not to be shot down, and potentially shoot down the enemy that's in sight as well, when you only have a small limited amount of ammunition at the press of your button.
And what sort of reaction do you get from people when you come to events like this?
Some people often just turn the corner and it's wow, they get excited. Others, potentially older generations, bring back potentially sad memories. Those who knew those pilots and those that didn't return. I was with a lady last weekend who's a member of the WVS, and she often used to make their sandwiches and tea and things and watch those pilots go out, never to return. And that's why we do it. We want to keep those memories, those history alive. I've been fortunate enough to meet the veterans over the years, such as Geoffrey Wellham, Roddy's Grace, etc., who were incredible men, and the work that they did throughout those years and post-war years as well. But sadly, they're no longer with us. But I can tell their stories. They've got books and films and things, but with them coming to us, they can actually get up close, see the size of it, feel the uniform, see what they're made of, and chat to us what life was like potentially on a daily basis.
I imagine that although this is a job, it's something that you very much enjoy.
It is a real passion. I did this really from a young age and grew up around it. So I've got lots of knowledge and experience, but there's always more to learn, and it's always fascinating and so enjoyable to either meet those veterans and people that was around from all different aspects of life, but then also being able to pass that on to the younger members who potentially will get, realise what their family members done, or associated people alongside them, and realise the effort that was put in. We've had several members over the years that have come to us, seen what they're doing, joined in with us, and then actually gone on to be pilots themselves, join the Royal Air Force, all sorts of different things over the years. So clearly the work that we do does have some good impact.